7.
With us now, National Party leader Bill English is in the Wellington studio with me at 24 minutes past 7. Good morning.
Good morning, Susie.
Why is it that some people deserve fewer human rights than others?
Well, the Minister, I think, would acknowledge, as we discussed last night, that that was the wrong way to describe the actual proposal. The proposal was made in the context of the methamphetamine policy and real concern from the police that gangs are able to build up significant stockpiles of illegal arms.
So Paula Bennett, the Police Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, got it wrong?
Well, wasn't the right way to describe the actual policy.
But does that mean she went too far, or was she inaccurate?
Well, it's just not the correct use of a term like human rights. Everyone has human rights in New Zealand. They are based around respect for the integrity of the individual. They are embedded in our legal system. This is not a policy that erodes human rights, but it will be looked at in the context of human rights, though.
But Paula Bennett, did she not understand her own policy in that case? Because she was pretty clear in what she said.
No, she understands the policy the right way, but it was a discussion about the legal rights of particular people, not the human rights of New Zealanders.
So why did she describe it in the wrong way then?
Well, I think she just got it wrong.
But you were standing right next to her. Why didn't you correct her?
Well, we're in the context of answering journalists' questions which are actually focused on the policy. And the policy we announced yesterday was about the methamphetamine.
But surely if you have a minister who's announcing a policy who says something that you realise immediately is wrong, why didn't you pick her up on that and just say, actually, that's not the right thing?
Well, I deal with my colleagues civilly and in a way that's appropriate. And in the context of the announcement, I described it straight after the minister in terms that were more correctly focused on the policy itself, which come down to the right to search premises without a warrant for a small group of people.
But you must have realised when she said that it was going to be quite as explosive as it was, that it was going to be all over in the news. This was how the policy was going to be framed and this was going to be picked up, and you were quite happy to let that go.
No, it wasn't a matter of being happy to let it go. It was a matter of focusing.
But you did let it go.
No, I didn't, because I described it correct. I described it myself in the terms that were more correct, and the policy itself is actually very important because methamphetamine is a problem across our community. It needs to be dealt with, and we are putting in front of the public a range of tools will assist us to deal with that. And there's no doubt at all that our gangs are at the heart of the meth distribution system.
Does it betray an attitude in the Deputy Prime Minister, the Deputy Leader of the National Party, that some people do deserve fewer human rights than others? She seemed very clear on that. And is that something that you are comfortable with?
No, I would not agree with that. Paula Bennett is someone who is able to work with the whole range of our community, has done well herself because she respects people and where they come from and what they can achieve. So no, I don't think it reflects some attitude on her part.
So why did she say what she said then?
Well, sometimes we just don't say the right thing. That happens. But what she has done a great job of is putting together a policy that recognises the breadth of the methamphetamine problem, which actually at our presentation was outlined by one of New Zealand's experts on it, and the combination of greater addiction services availability, more education for people to understand the addictive nature of methamphetamine, and some assertive policing, I think is well received by the public.
So she just misspoke?
Well, she said she used the term wrong way to describe the. You can use any term you like. It clearly is not the case that some New Zealanders have less human rights than others.
What about the poll ratings? How do you feel that this is shaping up as an election? Because you seem to be bleeding support.
Well, it's shaping up as a tight race between National and Labour, and now that people realise that, they're starting to look at the policy and what difference it will actually make in their household and their businesses. We I think, will benefit from that because we are laying out a clear plan of how we're going to raise incomes, cut poverty, get people into houses, 60,000 first-home buyers into houses over the next 3 years. And they look at the opposition, it's a bit of fairly vague, confused policy that appears to take the economy for granted, as if the golden goose will just keep laying. They don't need to pay any attention to it other than to pull a few more eggs out of it.
You have been criticising other parties, Kelvin Davis, I think, for misspeaking. You seem to be in a similar situation yourself, so are you imagining you're going to have to be somewhat more aggressive in the debate shaping up tonight?
I think the last debate was handled in a civil manner. The debate tonight, I'm looking forward to it because it's more of an opportunity, I think, to shape up for people to be able to see those differences between the main parties.
What mark would you give yourself for your performance in the last debate?
Oh, look, it's what the voters think that matters, and the voters see debates as part of a broader picture, which includes the safety and security and the prospects for their job, as well as what undertakings parties are making that they think will assist them deal with their household pressures and have a better future. Perhaps
you're too modest to tell us how you felt you went in the last debate, but do you think that it matters, or can you actually do very little to stop the momentum of Jacinda Ardern?
I think that momentum has stopped. I think people are now considering the choices because now they can see there is the possibility the government could change. They hadn't actually thought of that for quite a long time, and that focuses on the choices around the economy. Can we take economic management for granted? And around the spending. Are we spending taxpayers' money for good value and strong results? And we're happy that in National's case, the economic management is based on a lot of experience, so we can keep it going. And with respect to spending of taxpayers' money, we've got the targeted, thoughtful expenditure that can change people's lives. The methamphetamine policy is one of those, because we spoke yesterday with the addicts. We need to change the direction that methamphetamine users are on.
The Labour momentum has stopped. How do you know?
Oh, just the sense over the last week while that people are now focusing on the policies.
Thank you very much for your time. Bill English there, the National Party leader in the Wellington studio. It's now 7:30.
Coming up before 8 on Morning Report, the Silver Ferns defeat arch rivals Australia to pick up the Quad Series title. A Nelson community group tells us it has no idea who attacked the Nelson MP Nick Smith with rat poison. And also on the campaign trail, ACT Party leader David Seymour proudly boasts that he's the third longest serving parliamentary party leader in the country. Now the headlines with Nicola Wright. President Don